You're listening to the Trading Bear podcast. This is episode 23, The Daily Show.
Mystery player. Position.
Midfielder.
Start price.
£3.08.
Current price.
£3.75.
PB.
50p.
MB.
0.
Dividend yield.
13.3%.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining again. In the news today, Cristiano Ronaldo is fined €20,000 for his apparent mimic of Diego Simeone during his goal celebration in the Champions League match between Juve and Atletico, but crucially, Ronaldo will not face a match ban. Bayern Munich agree a 5-year deal with Atletico's French international left-back Lucas Hernandez as Bayern's summer overhaul of their ageing squad begins in earnest. And Scotland are left humiliated as the Euro 2020 qualifiers get underway, Alex McLeish's men going down 3-0 to lowly Kazakhstan. Let's move on to today's risers and fallers then. And today's first riser is Jadon Sancho, who's gone up 44p to £15.17. The reason for today's rise? 4 words: Manchester United transfer link. Those 4 words are enough to get any player's price moving in the right direction. And the media today linking the English winger with a move away from Dortmund to relocate back once more to the sunnier climates of Manchester, only this time to the Red Half. It's claimed by the Mirror Online, in Tier 3 for transfer rumours, on false9.com, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has given Sancho's name to United chief Ed Woodward as their number 1 summer priority, and in the process making him the most expensive Premier League signing of all time, replacing the figure of £89 million paid for current Manchester United player Paul Pogba. Today's second riser is Belgian winger Yannick Carrasco, and he's gone up 18p to sit at £2.20. So Carrasco currently plays for the Chinese side Dalian Yifang, and was heavily linked with a move to Arsenal during the latter stages of the January window of this year, before it came a well-known fact that Arsenal didn't actually have any money in the transfer budget, and instead opted for the loan signing of Denis Suarez, who incidentally has been so bad that Arsenal want to terminate the loan deal early and send him back to Barcelona straight away. So will Arsenal be back in for Carrasco during the summer when they have more money? It could well be a possibility, especially the news that Suarez is being sent back home early. And if not Arsenal, Carrasco will be linked with a host of clubs in the summer. Both Carrasco himself and his family both went on record towards the end of that January stating that they're actively looking for a move back to Europe and for a player in the prime of his career in a position that's very suitable to PB. I think had you bought this player back in the start of February, it was an absolute no-brainer. The sort of trade where you wait for the transfer window to close, wait for his price to fall down, and in Carrasco's case it fell down to about £1.40, £1.50. Just hold, have a little bit of patience, a 3-4 month long-term hold there, and he's now gone up to £2.20. And I have no doubt whatsoever this is going to be the start of his move. He hasn't even been linked with a move yet, and once those links become a little bit firmer, I think his price will go up and up. As a slight caveat, of course, for any player playing in China, you have to be a little bit careful that he doesn't suddenly announce that he wants to stay there for another 10 years, on the back of being paid an extra 200%, of course. But as long as you don't leave the selling too late, and you sell before the transfer actually goes through, I think this is a very good trade to make. The major faller today was Lionel Messi, who fell down 19p and now sits at £17.46. There's no real reason for his fall today, there's no injury or bad news related to it. It's just a slight market correction on his recent multiple rises in the past few days. He's fallen slightly out of the media after his hat-trick exploits, and no doubt he'll be back in no time, possibly as early as 4 days' time when the market split actually takes effect at Tuesday 6am. And failing that, he'll definitely come back into focus when the Champions League kicks back into gear again as Barcelona take on media moguls Manchester United. Elsewhere, the fallers list is pretty quiet today as the market continues to boom, growing 716 points today to take the footy, the equivalent to the FTSE, to a continuous record climb of 72,806 points. Long may it stay that way. Let's head into some of your questions now then. Today's first question comes from Paul Morris via Index Gain, and Paul asks, What do you and other experienced traders do on a daily basis? Do you keep a cash balance available at all times for any opportunities that may arise? Starting with the first part of your question, Paul, and what does an experienced trader do on a daily basis? Well, this largely depends on that trader's specific strategy and play. You can be a very successful experienced trader spending 5 minutes a day on the platform. You could be a successful experienced trader who spends 5 minutes a week on the platform. Or you could be a successful experienced trader who spends 10, 12 hours a day on the platform. It really does depend on that particular trader's style, and whether they're a scalper, a day trader, a swing trader, or even a position trader. And if you're not familiar with these 4 terms, I'll be doing a small feature around the different types of traders you can get in the upcoming episodes. As for the second half of your question, Paul, and whether or not it's a good idea to keep a cash balance available at all times for any opportunities. Yes is the bottom line answer here, Paul. The only problem being here, Paul, is having cash in your balance is a bit like when you're young and your mum or dad bought food for Christmas 2 months in advance, and on your favourite pack of biscuits it says, "Do not eat, reserved for Christmas." Sometimes the temptation just gets too much. However, holding your nerve and keeping patience is the key to many successful strategies for those traders that are successful long term. One of the great advantages of Football Index as a product is the next opportunity can often be literally just 24 hours away. Often you'll see a player rapidly rise 30, 40, 50, 60p. You've just got home from work, or you just got back from the shops. You've seen that player go up. You get severe levels of FOMO, or fear of missing out. And in sheer panic mode, you instant sell one of your previous holds, losing a large chunk on that particular trade in the first place. You then buy this new player. 5 minutes later, you find out you bought him on the high. He then goes crashing down, and you lose money on that trade as well. Quite frankly, Paul, if you ever find a trader that hasn't done that, please let me know, because I don't think they exist. At the end of the day, we've all been guilty of that, and it's how quickly you learn from that and don't repeat the same mistake as to how much profit you're going to make long term. You simply must get used to the idea that you are not going to be on every single winning trade. You are not going to be at the right place in the right moment for every single rise. The sooner you learn that, the quicker you'll lose that FOMO feeling and the more you start making. Now, an example I just laid out there, you lost twofold. Not only did you lose on the player buying it at the peak, you also lost out when you IS'd that player because you didn't have cash ready available. Now, with this in mind, I would always recommend you have around 5 to 10%, certainly at least 5% of your overall budget available at any one time in your cash balance. This is so when the next opportunity does arise and you are in the right place, you can get in straight away. You don't have to worry about selling your other holds, you're not going to lose any commission, and you can buy in at the lowest possible price available to you at that given time. There are so many opportunities available on Football Index. Get rid of that mentality where you must win every trade, and the sooner your profits will be rising. Today's second question comes from Glenn via email, who on the back of episode 21, where I detailed reliable sources for transfer news, asks, "A quick question on the False 9 website you mentioned on the show the other day. I'm presuming that you need to follow the relevant outlets individually rather than the site itself containing all the content and rumours." Yes, this is correct, Glenn. The site itself doesn't actually contain any transfer rumours at all. It merely acts as a reference point to check to see whether that outlet is reliable or not. It's well worth subscribing to all those tier 1 sources on Twitter or bookmarking the relevant website. As always with any trade, you want to be doing your research, and this just hands as a handy stamp check to see whether that source can be relied upon or not. And that's it for this episode. You can download and subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. Head over to the website to send in a question, tradingbearpodcast.com. Alternatively, you can find me on IndexGain or Twitter under the name Trading Bear. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the Mystery Player.
Mystery player. Position.
Midfielder.
Start price.
£3.08.
Current price.
£3.75.
PB.
50p.
MB.
0.
Dividend yield.
13.3%.
Trading Bear. Today's mystery player was Valencia playmaker Daniel Parreiro.